issue at hand is around responsible advertising and marketing. And the consequence of that, of not doing that, may mean that, and it has happened in other countries, where the advertising and marketing is then banned, as we have seen with tobacco in South Africa. So tobacco is, the advertising and marketing has been banned. But let's go back and let's go to the current situation. So today we've seen the launch of a self-regulated industry on the marketing and advertising codes. And I think you've heard our view as government that this is something that we'll have to be convinced that it works. We've also, as Department of Trade and Industry, we have an amendment bill on liquor, which talks to the restrictions on advertising and marketing. And why do we need to restrict marketing and advertising? It's simply because of its appeal to consumers. And so we find that there is the more we advertise and market the products, the more appeal it has to young people, underage, so minors, and those who do consume will tend to consume more. And that's not the kind of social messaging that the industry should be portraying in a country that has high levels of alcohol abuse. So if we are a binge drinking nation, those who drink excessively, we have high levels of underage substance abuse, which includes alcohol and drugs, as well as one of the highest rates of fetal alcohol syndrome. So the question is, what is the role of marketing and advertising? We have found that it's high. There's a high correlation or relationship between advertising and marketing and consumer and consumption, rather. So really, I think this today marks a commitment by the industry on changing that to responsible messaging. And so we would obviously monitor to know whether they are making the necessary, I would say, changes in our society. And that remains to be seen.
Well, first of all, I work for a self-regulator. We're the Advertising Regulatory Board, and we believe in self-regulation. We don't believe in banning advertising. We believe in controlling advertising and having regulated advertising. But we've seen across the world that banning doesn't work. It doesn't solve the social issue that it's supposed to solve. What it does is it takes money out of the industry. We saw some amazing ads here, some socially responsible ads, the type of advertising you really want to be seeing. We're not going to see advertising like that if alcohol advertising is banned. I never believe, I fundamentally believe in freedom of speech. I never believe a ban is the answer to a problem. There's the social media rules for influencers, and there are things like that they have to declare if they've been given something in exchange for exposure, they have to declare it. There has to be hashtag ad or hashtag sponsored, and they have to keep all the other rules. So when it comes to alcohol advertising, the influencer has to keep the rules of this code as well, which will be an appendix to our code. So the influencer also needs to be aware of everything here. Social media definitely is a big area, and we're looking at how we regulate it. And again, we want to keep it self-regulated. We don't want government stepping into social media. I'm wondering, as we stand here, and I've been listening to them speak, and they've been talk about Instagram and Facebook, I'm wondering if they're in TikTok. And I'm going to go and ask those questions once I'm finished with you. I'm going to go and say, what are you doing? You've got to keep your eye on where are the youth, and that's where the responsible social messages have to go.
This is not just about the alcohol industry, because what the alcohol industry does and the space that it functions in, it infiltrates other industries. So the marketing industry, the advertising industry, the media industry, the retail space, the distribution space. And if we are to put out a commitment by the industry, then then we have to take those key role players with us. And that's what today was about. Today was really about saying, we've been working at this, we've slugged it out, we've said, listen, this makes us happy, not happy, but the ultimate objective has always been what's in the best interest of the South African public and the South African consumer. So that's what today was about. Then we decided, let's bring people into a room, let's have a conversation, because I'm of the view, and as aware.org, we believe we're only going to deal with these issues if we have a conversation. We need to surface the issues. Let's not pretend any longer. We know there's a problem. How do we address it? The code is one part of what we do. And I said in my speech, it's the marketing of products, it's what the consumer sees. But we also have targeted program interventions, and we also work closely with government because they are a key stakeholder. Remember, government goes to the people. Government has service delivery objectives. And if we engage them and if we work alongside them, then we're able to reach South Africans in a more credible way, because we don't want them to say, oh, you're just the alcohol industry, you want to sell products. That's not what it's about. The education and awareness campaigns are also key. You've seen our ads last year. The year before, we launched the Choices ad, which was the binge drinking ad. Last year, we launched the underage drinking ad, and we're continuing. So we're on a positive trajectory. We want to take South Africans with us. We want to create a culture of responsible drinking. And so the spirit of the code really, I think, embodies the mandate of aware.org, which is, as I said, to protect South Africans, to put them and to empower them, and to put them in a situation where they actually can make responsible choices. Give them information, educate them. If you say to me, so how much is too much? Is it 1 glass? Is it 2 glasses? If I'm binge drinking, is it 4 glasses? That's the role that we play. Why we need to have government in the room, as I said earlier, is because they have to walk this journey with us. We can go and run programs, but if we don't go in partnership with the liquor boards who are responsible for regulating and licensing, then it's just aware.org. And so who are you? Why are we bringing students in? Because you heard the president say he's concerned about the youth. This is the next generation of advertising creatives. They need to understand that the spirit of the code, the intention behind what we're doing as an industry is to make sure that we convey the messages in a responsible way. They're going to be stepping into that space. They need to be doing the right thing, and we need to do this from an early age, from early in their studies, and hence the introduction of the Sluries for students, where they will use Facebook, use Instagram. Why? Because we know that that's where the young people are. So they'll be using those platforms, and they will be developing ads for either underage or binge drinking, but just responsible drinking ads.
For more stories like these, go to www.social-tv.co.za, subscribe to us on YouTube, and follow us on our social mediums.